Welcome to the Foundational Infrastructure Working Group. It is the 23rd of October, and we're about to get started. That's all correct in the attendees.
Should we start with the agenda maybe, because some people are...
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I had some stuff from earlier. So we've had, as some of you may know, we've been running the OpenStack CPI pipeline for a while on internal infrastructure at VMware, now Broadcom. Broadcom is no longer planning to commercially support OpenStack, officially as of a couple of weeks from now. And we've been having trouble getting the OpenStack pipeline running because the hardware that we were using was decommissioned and then moved, and we just haven't been able to get it going. So that pipeline hasn't been run since July or so. That wasn't running the SAP Golang CPI anyway, but just wanted to make that announcement since folks may or may not have been depending on us for releases. So that is that news.
Okay, so now we really need to set up the OpenStack dev environment. There was that thing that Ruben mentioned like 2 years ago. I think then we really need to investigate that then to get it working.
But
yeah, I think.
Felix, you've been, I think, in our Bosch team, they have also the task to look whether SAP infrastructure can be used here.
Yeah, just... Sorry, Ramon.
No. You were from SAP, so
yes.
I only noticed that
we just started
ago.
today planning the first stories to move some of the pipelines from Broadcom to the open source pipelines. Like I think we wanted to start with the Bosch agent. We have been running our own OpenStack CPI pipeline with a fork, so we don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
yeah, I guess I would
good
say,
to have something.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway from this is since we don't have hardware, we don't even have the ability to test the legacy CPI and aren't cutting releases. So if you want your internal testing to become the main line and to be cutting releases for that CPI, that's something you're welcome to take over, because we don't have the hardware to do that currently.
Yeah, we have not planned for this particular thing so far. But yeah, would be the question if we run it then on SAP side, or if we should try to move it to the open source pipelines as well.
But we can basically also deprecate that Ruby CPI if the Golang OpenStack CPI already is now basically on par or better.
We have to, because it's not maintained, Ruby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we also don't need the CI anymore, so
we do need CI for the open source or the Ruby or the Golang one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It seems like maybe the right thing to do is to rev the major, drop Ruby support, and then figure out where to run CI for the Golang version.
I'll just put my bot on it.
Felix, I think maybe it makes sense to have an issue here or something for transparency in the GitHub repository, or you can decide. But in open sourcing.
Yes, I think with Ahmed on this.
Yeah.
Then we will create issues. Yeah, we can do that.
And regarding the deprecation, how should we tackle that?
That could also be an issue. I mean, I think that's how the work for the Golang version started.
So it shouldn't be a breaking change for the users, right?
No, not from the API perspective, although it might be. Yeah, I don't know how to think about that from a semantic perspective. Like it is a massive shift, but there shouldn't be any impact to upgrading, except that
That's not something we test, right? So I would say
Yeah.
it's massively breaking, and then maybe it works.
Yeah.
Like unless you have that particular, like you test like the upgrade from the Ruby to the Go based CPI as an upgrade path, and that like if you have VMs deployed, the reference still work, all that stuff. That's not something we test, right?
I think it should work out of the box or not. I think when we created, or when the Go version was created, we paid attention so that we still reuse all the properties and everything that was there for the Ruby CPI. So
But is it being tested like that? That still works.
all these properties, you mean?
Like,
OpenStack has a million
can you deploy
properties.
a VM with a Ruby CPI and then switch, update your director to the Go CPI, and it all keeps working? Does that work?
I assume yes, yeah.
Okay. It's great, but like,
I mean, but for what reason should it not be?
But we are not testing this, so we don't know.
Yeah.
We're not testing that, yes.
Yeah, like that's the like if you're saying that it's compatible, there should be a test that tests that scenario. Otherwise,
True.
it's like,
I mean, we tested this on our landscapes back then when we
yeah,
developed
but
it,
for
but
a
that was working
specific
fine.
upgrade
But
path.
yeah.
So if there's no test running for that, then
So if
mean-
there is a full moon, it works. If not, so then so you always need to deploy at full moon, and then you have luck.
mhm.
And it needs
While
to be
holding
the
your nose
end of
and
the
in
month.
one ear.
Yeah. That's why we have 4
Alright.
weeks release cycles.
Makes
sounds
sense.
great. I just put that in the issue. I put that in the release notes, and we're good to go. Next thing was just a nit. I noticed that the Noble branch in the stem cell builder requires 2 approvers. Not sure if that's something we intended, or maybe it's a leftover from when we had manual, like non-automatic branch protections everywhere.
Is Jemmy's one approver now?
I believe it is, yes.
Okay, yeah, then it should also do that
Okay.
one.
It should be consistent because the required approvals is based on how many approval an area has. If there are more than 4, then it's 2. If it's less than 4, it's 1.
That's the whole
Hmm.
Bosch team, and it has more than 4. So yeah.
Interesting. Maybe it's Jammy that needs to change then, because it only required, the Jammy branch only required 1 approver.
Okay.
Um,
Stefan, this is done by the branch protection, right? It's calculating the.
It's by the branch protection, and maybe you have a manual branch protection configured, and then the automatic
Yeah.
changes when the number of approvers changes doesn't kick in anymore.
And on the second note, yes, I approve. So annoying to make pull requests for CI stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if the automation supports this, but this might be a nice change to add to allow approvers to push to branches with just for the CI directory. I think that might also help us get better at making sure that all the CI is actually in the CI directory across the org.
I don't know if that's actually possible with the current branch protection rules that we use.
I
Okay.
would be surprised, let's say it like this.
Yeah, because they do have this other stuff that we're not using, the rules stuff, right?
I don't know.
I'm looking at settings.
Maybe you can open
There's rule sets now, and I think since we now have a new license, the enterprise stuff, we can actually start using that. But I don't know if our tooling uses that.
Seems like there is a pass ignore.
Oh, is there in branch protection rules?
Branch protection when actions uses pass. Oh, when actions uses pass ignore.
It's maybe worth an issue now on the community repository so that we look into this.
Yeah. I will put an issue in.
We first need to discuss whether we are okay with that, and then if yes, then look for support.
Right. And now
It's
we're on to the star of
pretty
the show
useful,
today.
but also like from a supply chain attack perspective, it's not that great.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Yeah.
Um,
Official issue and then an official statement, yes or not, will be great.
sounds good. All right. Star of the show. Storage CLI consolidation.
Yep. I opened an issue for it. What we have done so far, we have implemented the extensions that we need for the cloud controller in the Bosch Azure Storage CLI, and only in this one. It's now close to being finished and working and being released in Kapi. And the step after that, before we go into all the other storage CLI, was that we wanted to talk about a consolidation of the different repositories. There are now 5 repositories for the different YAS layers. And the idea was to create one repository, and I wrote down here a proposal how to consolidate them and a few open discussion points. For instance, should we continue to use Concourse pipelines for the CI or switch over to GitHub Actions when we anyway have to rework the CI? And the second thing is, do you prefer to have one CLI binary for all for every YAS, or just one CLI that includes all YAS layers and then an additional command line parameter? I wrote my thoughts on, but that's really something to discuss about. And then possible migration steps and a repo structure. Just some ideas. So maybe you can add your thoughts, and then we can come up.
And we wanted to check who uses the Docker images that the pipeline produces at the moment, if those are still needed or not.
Which one?
Created
by the Bosch CI, by the Bosch CI?
Yes.
Bosch,
so
Bosch
we
integration
have,
and stuff?
if I find the chat, so here, for example, this pipeline also, pipelines produce Docker images with just the CLI on it. So
Oh, those.
yes, not sure who needs those.
This is most likely
it's probably being
just for the CI environment would be my guess. That it's used inside the CI. So a general pattern is for each of the pipelines to build the Docker image needed for itself, so that the right material for the tests is present. So I don't think these are consumed. I would be surprised if these are consumed by anybody outside this pipeline, although it's possible. So I wouldn't worry about maintaining that. Let's see. I think it feels like a lot of these are can be kind of orthogonal. I think from a Bosch perspective, it would be nice if there was not a lot of structural change to the config file that's being passed, because reworking the config JSON structure that's passed to the CLI would involve touching a whole lot of code in the Bosch director and in the agent, and making sure that all that JSON generation was updated. But other than that, I don't know that I have a strong feeling, just from my own sense, like whether we should consolidate into a single CLI or multiple CLIs with subcommands. I think we could work on ultimately making the config files a little more consistent, but I think that would be something I'd want to do at a later stage.
Mhm.
Yeah, if it's easy, put it all in one repo. If it's difficult, like Aram says, like yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it makes a ton of sense to put it in the same repo, especially because the interfaces to these should be effectively identical with the exception of the configuration.
Mhm.
How we organize it, whether it's a single binary or multiple, it's not. I don't have a strong feeling about that. I think either is a reasonable option. Probably a bigger change for Bosch and the Bosch agent to absorb if they're a single binary, but ultimately probably simpler.
Yeah, it's a bit of work, but I think it's acceptable, and it like simplifies the distribution, right? Like you have a single build, and that
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
has everything in it.
And you
Yeah.
have to pack anyway all YAS layers, right? Because it's a runtime decision which one to use. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
the
they have to
single binary.
be.
Mhm.
Yeah, we build a zip with the agent and then throw that on there. That's also consumed by the Bosch director. So, and
Okay.
I love the idea of them being in a single repo. That's
Mhm.
great.
Yeah, and will it break something for people? Is it breaking change for
If we keep
customers?
the
I don't think
config
so, but
if we keep the config the same, it should be
Well,
fine, right? Because
I
it's
think the
the
config is even generated by either the agent or the Bosch director. So I don't know that there's any user-facing changes. Even if we were to change the config, I just would rather not change everything in the config because that is a little.
yeah, but we have the agent the agent and the Blobster CLIs go into the stem cell. So if the invocation changes, because I could like if it's a single binary, the path changes, and probably you have a subcommand to determine which IS you're targeting or something, right? But so the invocation changes, but that you can orchestrate or you can change the invocation in the agent and make sure that you ship the agent with the new distribution, right? So that change can be done. It just needs to be orchestrated.
but then you will need then you will always need an upgrade path, like for this specific stem cell. From this specific stem cell version, you need specific Bosch director version.
No, because it's not a Bosch director, right? Like it's if the config stays the same, the config gets passed down to the agent, and the agent then invokes the Blobster CLI differently. And
Oh,
the
okay.
Blobster CLI is on the stem cell, right? So you can just have a stem cell where the agent, you have new changes to the agent for the invocation, and you have the new interface on the single binary. Right? Like that, you just need to make sure that those things are, yeah, released together in a single stem cell, and then it should be fine. And you have a similar thing on the director, but the director also ships the Blobster CLI, right? A copy of it, its own copy. It doesn't rely on the copy on the stem cell. Ideally, I think that's
No, it does not. It does not, as far as I understand.
yeah. So on both sides, you can, and you don't have to do that at the same time, right? So every director will keep working with every stem cell, and vice versa. So I think that seems acceptable.
Yeah, there will be some interesting breakages in CI because part of the Bosch agent test behavior is to spin up a stem cell and inject the latest agent onto that stem cell and exercise it. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure how this isn't something that needs to be solved in the CLI issue, but we might have to either skip some tests or do some sort of strangeness to get that to work, because a stem cell with the old CLIs won't work with the new Bosch agent. Which is fine because that will never happen in real life, but in our tests we do some terrible things.
Okay, then I hear out single binary would be preferred. Can go in this direction. Yeah. And regarding GitHub Actions versus Concourse pipeline, are there strong feelings?
GitHub
Otherwise,
Actions.
okay, I I anticipated that somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's
GitHub
yeah.
Actions is free. We don't have
Fair.
unlimited budget, so like
I don't think the cost is the test execution. The cost is the IaaS usage, most likely, that's involved in the tests. I'm probably not in the case of the CLIs, but
but in
but-
this case of CLIs, it's creating blobs, right? Like really
Yeah.
small blobs. So I don't think there's much cost in that.
No, for the test execution itself, there is very little cost involved. It's more that usage of Concourse, and if we in general try to go from Concourse more in the direction of GitHub Actions, then this is an opportunity to go in this direction. And the pipeline is, let's say, not overly complicated, not comparable to Sea of Deployment or something like that. So it's, I would say, manageable.
Yeah.
No bubble environments involved, for instance.
And
Things like
Jochen
that.
is going to be involved, right? So he will have all the experience in like
Oh.
getting these GitHub action things going. So CF deployment will be next. Will be really
CF
easy.
deployment as GitHub Actions. Oh yeah, well, quite some effort. But GitHub Copilot is good at converting Concourse tasks to GitHub Actions, so you don't have to do too much thinking.
That's great.
Yeah,
I love
it will just run.
Yes,
What?
it will run.
it. Will just echo success and it will be good.
Yes, echoes exit 0.
Sounds perfect.
Okay, so we would go in this direction, and as soon as something is in, what I would suggest is as soon as we start committing on this repository, then maybe I don't know, try to develop as less as possible on the old wash cleats. Of course, we need some time, and until then, yeah, the old repos will stay as they are and will release if necessary. But the more they diverge, the more work. I don't know how long it takes until we have a first release and until Bosch has migrated from the old repos to the new ones. Will take some time. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as there's something we can consume, let us know, because I think
Mhm.
it just occurred to me that one of the things we could do is to bundle the old CLIs and the new CLIs simultaneously, and then teach the agent how to speak to the new CLI, and then stop bundling the old ones. That gives us a kind of testable, a brief testable transition. It's not too much extra code or,
Yep.
kilobytes. So it seems good.
Okay, sounds good. Then
Awesome.
I have no further questions.
Excellent. Alrighty, back to our regularly scheduled fun times. I'm gonna open a bunch of these and see where we're at.
Do we need to wait for a new AWS CPI release?
Okay, documentation. Sorry, I missed that part. Do you have context on this one? Felix, you approved.
Yeah. There's some VM type or something that supports accelerated networking, and then you see two network interfaces. So, and it can happen when the bot agent tries to detect the network interfaces. It basically takes the wrong one because they have the same MAC address. And now they're looking for a way to differentiate which one should be used, because Azure states the one of those you should never use and it's only for internal use, and the other one should be used. So they were looking for ways how to differentiate those, and yeah, they came up with this alias idea, and yeah, I could also not come up with another idea.
Okay. Oh, excuse me. This seems fine to me. Any objections to merging this?
No.
this is the other part of this change.
Tests.
Basically set the alias, yeah.
Okay.
The agent won't fail if this is not set. So you can deliver the changes separately. Not problem.
I mean, I think this is mostly
Yeah.
documentation. Oh no, this is the builder.
It's on the stem cell side, the part which needs the agent.
Yeah.
But most probably, yeah, you can deliver. Yeah. It's
Yeah. I
backwards.
think this can go. It'll shake out eventually. Yeah.
We also need to merge it into Noble. All this stuff. We have many stuff. We have.
Maybe you can ask Sebastian to open office for Noble, or
Sure.
Well, we can do a merge back again from Jemmy to Noble again.
That seems like a thing we should be doing somewhat regularly.
Yeah, it seems that when last time we did it was with Joseph, and he fixed a lot of stuff that were failing. So the merges should now be easier. But yeah, we should do this on a regular basis.
So we need an issue for that, so that you are reminded or something.
Okay. Let's see. Throw here.
Yeah, just merge forward for when stuff is.
Okay. Just drop that there. All right. Delete on termination for network interfaces.
Yes. So we had an issue, a bug locally. So previously, before we introduced the prefix allocation for the AWS API, the network interface was created while the instance was created, which basically set this delete on termination. That was the biggest change, which basically will delete the network interface as well when an instance is created. However, this is set by default to false if you create the network interface separately from the instance. But you can set it to true again after you attached it to the instance. And that is basically what this PR does. And it helps with, just not losing track of network interfaces and cleaning up stuff. And also it helps. There's a fast option to delete. With the change we did before, we always had to wait till the instance was deleted and then wait till the network interface was not in use anymore and then delete the network interface. So it was a pretty slow deletion process of a VM, and that now can be reset. So basically this PR gets rid of the cleanup of the network interface step in the instance termination and instead marks these interfaces as delete on termination once they have been successfully attached to an instance.
Great. That sounds a reasonable change. Do we want to follow the robot's suggestion here?
Yes, sounds good.
Sure, why not? Hopefully that doesn't break the test.
The Copilot has signed the easy CLA or how?
I hope they
I'd
have.
love to, because now Aram committed it, right? So
But the PI is not complaining. I don't know. Maybe GitHub has special CLAs to every
no,
report.
but like Copilot didn't commit it, right? Or did it?
Yeah, I think I committed. I think I committed with a comment from, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's co-author or something.
uh,
But I think Aram is now the main author.
Yeah.
Because he clicked the button.
Should have made
Oh,
Felix
like,
do that.
if it breaks now, then
All
we
right,
will
I'll wait
know
for
how.
those workflows to run while we look at this thing. Ramon, you wanna talk about spot VMs?
Oh yeah. If we want to reduce our costs with our CI and everything that we do with Bubble Up, it would be nice if we could just create spot VMs. That would just cut our resources by half just by only setting spots. So I think that would be a good thing to do. I did this like for 2 years ago. I made a PR for this, and nobody ever looked at it. Nobody wanted to review it. Basically did the same thing in a new 6 with more documentation and a little bit more tests. So I hope you guys can review this and merge it. So before we also still have preemptible, but the preemptible is the old way of in the Google API to provide kind of spot images, which only lasted for like 24 hours. And they now have a new API model, which is only for the provisioning model, which is basically either spot or standard.
Mm-hmm.
So if preemptible and provisioning model is provided, it will choose the latest one to choose the provisioning model, and otherwise preemptible. So
Seems reasonable.
Another powerful suggestion.
Look at me, I'm getting tons of commits here. Amazing. Should we? I don't understand the change here.
it's
Oh.
because the default is empty, but but an example is spot.
Yeah.
Copilot is stupid.
All right. Cool. Looks good to me. I think Felix also approved it, so. Oh, I think it was running because of this stupid change. I think it's
Yeah.
probably safe to merge this. Yeah.
The next step is to add an option in Bosch bootloader that we can just basically an extra flag or maybe a patch or whatever patch file that we can easily just do from our CI, like extra ops file. Good luck. Everything is spot VMs now.
Great. A bunch of retries in there.
Should be.
Stefan, would that also be something for CF deployment?
Should I delete the branch?
Yes. I think for CF deployment and especially for the build packs pipeline, when we just, because it's all short-lived things, like it should not take more than 3 hours to spin it up, spin it down, to test this stuff. For CF deployment, basically, I don't know.
How
different
do
can
spot
probably-
instances, do they consume those pre-committed things, the CUDs?
What do you mean?
We're trying to buy CUDs at the foundation
Mhm.
if we're now
Yeah.
switching to spot instances.
So the cuts are based on how much you spent on compute for an hour. Most probably spots are also counting there.
Spots is probably included.
Would be good to verify.
If we implement everything, maybe we have to get money back from GCP.
Yeah, negative,
that's the problem.
negative value.
Oh, great. That's the problem. You have committed too much, right? So if you've committed too much and you're not consuming it, then you have a problem.
Yeah, if you're not using the committed flex discount, you're giving money to GCP. Yeah.
Maybe if there's extra GCP allocation, we can run a bot to
Spot
better
VMs can
predict our usage.
reduce cost by up to 91%. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, if they have sufficient resources for 3 hours, would be interesting for CF deployment as well, right? Because we
Would
do
be worth.
run
We can
into performance
that on-
problems. Yeah.
Try that on one of our environments and see how it works. Sure.
Yeah, the only thing
Yeah.
the only thing I think we should not do it for is for concourse workers, because if
Yeah. Yeah.
it will be
that's been a lot of
removed
fun.
randomly, then we get resources that get stuck, and
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, for concourse workers, you want CUDs, right? But like for all these environments that we're just spinning up for an hour or something
Yeah.
to run a test, then
Mhm.
just use this.
I mean, we can
Yeah.
try it in the copy pipeline first and then recommend it also for CF deployment.
Yeah, but it would be probably good to, because I think it won't work with the CUDs, so it might be useful. I don't know if that has the foundation already bought CUDs, or what's the status there? I don't know. what
Oh, we are
happened.
discussing still, but currently we are spending constantly around 20 or more dollars per hour, and we are thinking to commit for $10 per hour. So a flex discount usage. So there is still potential to reduce cost if we.
Yeah, but the question, I think what would be a good analysis to do is to see how much of that is like long running instances versus short running instances, right? Like, so I don't know if
I
that's
think
something.
long running, so the minimum we have is $20. It's always, we don't get below $20 per hour, but at some time we get to $40 per hour. So I think the $20 per hour are long living, because we never go below that per hour.
I see.
But it's nice. We can add this also to the guidelines for cost reduction if everything works. Yeah, it would be nice.
Yeah, that would be good. Should we talk about this one, Felix?
Yeah, basically it fixes a bug when we did this huge prefix delegation. We also fixed an issue with the restricted IPs, because previously basically the Bosch director was storing those in an array, so every single IP address, and we refactored it to have it to select the biggest number of CIDR ranges it could find for any given IP range. So that would greatly reduce the number of elements in that array. But it led to this issue here. That basically if you have a single IP address that is already in use and it matches a CIDR range that is reserved for some other network, then you can run into this IP is in reserved range.
I'm not. Yeah, that seems fine. I'm not too concerned about these Copilot things. Does anybody care to look at those?
I can take a look at that.
Okay. Otherwise, I think this is good. Feel free to, if you want to take a look at the Copilot suggestions and then merge.
Sure, I will. Yeah, thank you.
I approve the one Copilot nit about a blank line, but that seemed. All right.
By the way, don't trust Copilot too much. It already lied several times to me.
All right, a couple of these. So I think some of you all have seen this. I think this is actually blocked for the moment. Spoke with that person earlier. So this is part of this similar change, which is taking out the -z when decompressing with tar. The tar that's in Jammy and newer will happily decompress either a gzip or a regular tar file with just the XF flags as opposed to ZSF, as opposed to the Z flag. When the Z flag is there and the file is not gzipped, if it's just a plain tar, then things blow up. So this is somebody from the Broadcom team who's based in Bulgaria, adding this because we have an internal tile or an internal Bosch release that has a massive amount of compressed assets in it. So the compression is slowing down the development loop. This is these are the changes to the Bosch agent that are that would consume this. This is needed on the agent because the agent does decompression and also does recompression of compiled releases. So that's not where I want to be. I want to move this to pending review. Okay, good. And then I think we also have this one for Bosch as well. Can folks hear me? I feel like I've lost my audio. Okay, cool.
You were
Ruben's just so
speaking
quiet.
so much truth that nobody wanted to interfere.
Now I know something is wrong. So this is the corresponding one in the Bosch director. We already discussed the one in Bosch. There's a change in Bosch utils that the agent and the CLI will both consume, and that's been merged. Please take a look.
Do we also need? Do we also proper test this now? When that we at least have some the old way, the new way, and whatever happens. But I know we discussed something last week, so I forgot about it. But I know there was some change, right, from that could potentially break something. I can't remember it anymore.
I think the risk of breakage is how we sequence this. So the ultimate goal is to be able to use the Bosch CLI to create a tar release as opposed to a tar GZ release. And if a tar release is sent to a director or an agent that doesn't know to not pass, that is still passing the -z flag when decompressing, that will fail.
Yeah, but also I know for Bosch IO we do this kind of regex, or if we push something there, if we change tar, we also need to basically be aware of that there. If we upload new tar balls for releases.
Yeah,
These
this is
things
an
are stuck on
this is an
TGC, right?
opt-in, and I think this is an optimization for a commercial product. I don't know that many folks are.
So we're not going to do it for our own stuff. We're not going to for
It's
own
not
release.
like
No.
compression is useful. It's just if you're like
I
if
know,
you're
but
doing something weird, then it's not, right? Like this is only
Yeah.
for if you're putting Docker images in a Bosch release, then
Yeah.
it's useful to use. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's potential use cases in other places. I'm just trying to think of it. Like if you're trying to put AI models, right, and you want to load them into through a Bosch release, that might be useful.
Yeah. The use case here is that there's a Bosch release that has at least 10 gigabytes of compressed data inside of it. So running gzip over those tarred assets actually increases the size of the file and takes a huge amount of CPU. So
But we're not changing any file, right? It's not like we're changing it's still TGZs, right? It just just happens to be non-compressed, I'm assuming.
I mean, the Bosch create tarball just takes a file name, so it's arbitrary what you create. It just happens to be the case that right now,
But
the
like
Bosch create
if you
the
decompress a Bosch release, then there's like for all the jobs there's TGZs in there, right?
sure.
They are called TGZ, but then they will be non-compressed. Like we're not
Yes.
changing the file structure. That's what I'm saying.
No.
We're just
No.
disabling compression when
Exactly.
creating these things, but we're still calling it TGZ. Coming back to Ramon's question of like, do we need to change some regexes on Bosch IO or stuff like that? All like none of that changes.
Right. The outer file name of a release is user controlled though. We don't, like when you say create tarball, you pass it a file name that you want to build.
Yeah, sure.
So you could create a dot Ruben, you know.
Yeah.
Is
this are we disabling compression per package or is it for all packages? Is it one all or nothing?
I think this is it's an all or nothing flag. I'm not sure how far deeply it's threaded in the CLI. We haven't merged the CLI stuff yet, so there's
because I would assume this is like ideally you would control this through the spec file of a package.
sure. Yeah, this is the one here.
Right? If you do it through the spec file, then you have the same results and it's not like dependent on what you're doing, which flags you're passing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you have more control. I think that's more Bosch-like.
That is reasonable. I think the preparatory changes are all good regardless by just taking off the -z from any decompression since tar internally will recognize. So
yeah, I'm just talking about like how you would use this feature, and I think that would be a better way to do it.
Yeah, it'd be super helpful to drop that here. I agree generally. Yeah.
Where's that? That's the Bosch utils. No, it's the CLI. Oh, you have a CLI one? Oh. Yeah, we have. I will post that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm also a reviewer on that one.
I just added you.
Oh,
That'd be
thank
great.
you.
All right, we'll look at these two. That one, that one. NSXT9, this is vSphere. I'll take a look at this. I'll have somebody on our team take a look at that. Nick groups.
I think this is waiting for review.
Okay. Oh, there's also some README conflicts, it looks like.
Also,
Felix all
one's
request.
from Copilot.
Yeah. Right. Floppies. Why do you not like floppies?
Will this be a problem for vSphere? Are we still using floppies there?
I don't know.
Maybe something to check.
Yeah.
I think that there was like user data got injected in a weird way. I don't know if we switch to a CD-ROM. I think an
I think it
ISO
might
is
be
being
CD.
created.
I think
An
it might
ISO
be
is being
CD-ROM
created.
now.
Yeah, might be.
Didn't we abuse that for vSphere?
Yeah. I don't know that we used floppy, but we,
Or CD-ROM, or one of the two, I don't know.
yeah, I think we used CD-ROM. Okay. Did I move this into review state? Yes. All right. Retired VM types.
Yeah, we got a notification from Azure that some VM types will be retired. Well, by 28, we are a bit early. So we proposed to update the VM types with the t-shirt sizes that are used in CF deployment.
Hmm.
So the list of available sizes is overwhelming, and I hope I picked the right one. So anyone has more experience here, then kindly check the PR.
Excellent. I don't have that much experience with Azure, but I think Brian
We
Upland
also
does.
asked our Azure colleagues here at SAP to take a look, but they have not yet checked.
We almost have an approver, right? With an
Yes,
Azure.
not yet,
Maybe
not yet. We have to
we just need to merge that PR and then assign him.
Yes,
Perfect.
I
Should have done
will.
this in
promotions?
a different
I
in a
will
different
check that action.
thing.
It's on the promotions yet.
I'm gonna that's
Okay,
later.
I have to leave for the
Uh,
next meeting.
Oh,
See
yeah.
you. Bye
I'll
bye.
see you later. Behan, I'm
Yeah.
gonna turn it over to you for our promotions, or Ruben, one way or the other,
Yes.
if we want to run through that really quickly.
Yeah, I can do just a second. I have to share here. Okay, the project. Promotions, yes. So we have a new team member at SAP. He wants to get a reviewer, so I request a change, which has been done already. So
Excellent.
should be fine. And we have the Sebastian. Yeah, he was before in the Bosch team back 2018-19, was away.
This guy can be added. He has enough creds.
So he is directly applying for. I've been talking with him to get review approval. He was fine with both. We discussed, and he's applying for approval in Bosch area. So he is now with Azure. He would like to be added to Azure stuff. Let's see if possible.
Yeah, that seems great.
Okay, this is regarding approvals. I think we are done for today then.
One question, the director pipeline is failing. Put in the chat because some resources are not cleared. Ahmed gave me access to that account, but I just don't want to delete any databases there because that's what's currently blocking. Because I cannot find really the name of the database that is blocking the creation.
I looked at this as well a while ago, and I haven't had a lot of time to dig into it. I don't know.
I would just remove the upgrade MySQL Ubuntu Jemmy MySQL DB.
Yeah, but I don't find it. It only shows me Terraform.
Oh, it's called no, is it called just MySQL DB?
I don't know. I only see these ones, so maybe I'm looking at the wrong dashboard. But I also put a screenshot in the chat.
Cloud SQL. Well, there are 4 Terraform resources, which basically all can be removed, I think.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to get confirmation before I delete anything that.
Well, you can see how old they are. They are with the timestamp, so if they're freaking old, and
Yeah, I mean the last couple of days, 10th October, 17th. So I don't.
they're all in US Central 1F. So is that actually also what is being used?
Ah, no, that's a good point. It's different. I think it's Europe West 2.
Yeah, there's nothing in Europe West 2, which we have. So that's strange.
So I think our concourse and our compute instances are in different regions, like West 1 and 2. But
Yeah, well, there are 2 MySQL databases that are created like in June.
The build is showing. I mean, there have been successful builds. There was a successful build on the 20th of this month, and the Terraform is showing Europe West 2 as the region.
Okay, then maybe I just try re-trigger again. But I already re-triggered a couple of times, like 2 times. I just re-triggered.
Yeah.
Maybe now it's if they're gone. Maybe some other job cleaned it up.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, it's in
think...
this network. Oh no, the databases are not in a network. Maybe you can trace down what seems like there's a connection name. I don't know. Maybe it's even a different. Maybe it's in a different project. It's not an admin. Well, I don't know. Sorry, mate.
Okay. I see. Maybe I fix it. If not, I'll ask in the Slack channel again.
Yes, we can follow up. I wanted to say in the section.
Yeah. But
And
then
the
I
next-
keep these databases that are there for now because
And the next two things on the list is we need to get Bosch deployment CI working. Why Warden is not working on Noble, and why we have like GCP Warden and the Docker Warden, which is basically useless. Either use one or do GCP and say use just the full stack to test. I think that's best. So we have one with Warden and one with the GCP where we can actually test it. Instead of setting up, we're now basically doing bubble up with a Bosch Lite. It seems like a little bit ridiculous. We're not really testing anything if we're already testing it with Docker. No agree?
No
Nobody cares.
objection. I haven't thought too much about it though. So
Okay, I will move that back then to just use the full bubble. And if someone can check on Warden and Noble, that would be nice. Because I cannot figure out how to get the freaking agent logs from a Warden container. I can't get it to work.
I'll ask and see if anybody in our team has any experience doing that. I've never tried.
Yeah.
The-
And the other stupid thing is that for the
It's
Bosch
just NS
bootloader
enter,
CI.
right?
Huh?
NS enter.
Yes, I know with NS Enter, but I can't seem to get it to work. I don't know. I must be missing something. And the other thing is the Bosch bootloader. Why the concourse deployment? If it's deploying concourse, it fails with the timeout, but it's not doing that with the exact same region, exact same credentials doing a full CF deployment. So why that works and a concourse doesn't, I don't know.
Ramon, would you mind posting the help about the Warden VM agent logs in the Bosch channel somewhere? And I'll tag folks from our team, see if we can get some chat going there.
I think I already put it in the Bosch dev.
Okay.
But it was just like, please help. But nobody responded, of course. Okay.
Cool.
I need to eat.
Sounds like a good plan.